Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. You already know what's going on. I am your host, Cam Silver,
I am your co-host, Kyle Silver.
and welcome back to the Silver Boys podcast. Kyle,
Talk
we
to
made
me.
it. We made it past week two
Yes, we
in the
did.
NFL season, and a lot of upsets.
A lot of upsets, a lot of games went ways that I personally wasn't expecting, man. It was most
Hmm.
definitely a wild week too, I'll say, for a couple of different teams, winning side and losing side.
Yeah, yeah, very lopsided.
Yeah, very, very, very.
Very lopsided. But before we get to the stuff that happened on the field, a few things that happened off the field.
It's a lot of
So,
things. Yeah, man.
yeah, yeah. So we're gonna start off with few injuries that have been that have been happening. So Pacheco will be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured fibula. And yeah, so that hinders the Chiefs a lot. Hollywood Brown placed on IR because of shoulder injury that required surgery, and he's not expected to come back in the regular season. For Pacheco, the Chiefs are bringing back Kareem Hunt. So no, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Another speed threat. He's coming back home to Kansas City. Uh,
Hmm.
San Francisco will be losing Deebo Samuel for a couple of weeks with a calf strain. Christian McCaffrey is on IR now with a sore calf and Achilles tendonitis. They'll also be missing George Kittle with a hamstring pull. So yeah,
Hmm.
the 49ers is, looking not looking too great right now. Also, same thing with the Rams. Cooper Cup expected to miss extended period of time with the ankle injury. Puka Nacua out for 5 to 7 weeks, excuse me, with a PCL injury, and that depends on how that heals. Also, AJ Brown is out with a hamstring injury for the next couple of weeks. So a lot of guys, a lot of top tier guys.
A lot of top name, top tier guys. Exactly. That makes me sad, especially like, for teams like Kansas City and for like, the 49ers, just because
Hmm.
we have such high expectations of them. And Isaiah Pacheco leads to that high expectations, like, now because of the way he runs the ball, like what he can do coming out the backfield and how like most teams just can't seem to stop him. But then on the 49er side, that's oh man, not having George Kittle and C Mac, like oh
And
my,
Deebo Samuel.
and Debo too, like it's just I don't know, man.
That's
And
basically your offense.
it's the entire offense. That's everybody that you could possibly need on a team to help you get to where you need to go. And now you don't have them going into week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, like,
Hmm.
that just puts a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy that, I don't even know if like it's worth it to say he should live up to the pressure or not. I don't even know what to expect at this point.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on Purdy. It's a lot of pressure on Ayuk. A lot of pressure on
Mhm.
Trent Williams. It's a lot of pressure on a lot of those guys now, and
Yeah.
it just being able to navigate these next 3 to 4 games is going to be is going to be tough. Um, Same thing with the Rams. The Rams aren't just missing their top two receivers; they're also missing a lot of the guys on the O line.
Hmm.
The whole O line is banged up, and now it's getting to the point where where they're in the last year of Matt Stafford's contract. So now we're getting into, should they trade him? Like what do they do? So I guess it depends on, like I said, it depends on what happens, in these next few weeks
Yeah.
on if this team could be stable. If not, I do see them moving on and
I just
just
see
basically
them.
trying to break it down and build it right back up. So,
Yeah, and just I would say that they would have to build it around, Puka and have to build it around Cooper and maybe getting that old line back to where it was because I think those two are like the cornerstones of your franchise right now if you're the Rams, so you bring in like a quarterback that is capable of distributing the ball to a multitude of weapons. I think that's going to be really important for them because, like you said, last year, Matthew Stafford, like I don't see them like really signing him again. I don't know. I don't see it though. I don't see it. So it just makes sense to just start anew,
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah. You really want to see, Matt Stafford on a contending team.
Yeah.
He's been down that road more times than not with the Detroit Lions before the Detroit
I
Lions became who they are now. So Yeah, I believe that would be the best thing for them to do if they can navigate their way through these next few weeks.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, um, the biggest news of the week, right? The Panthers bench Bryce Young for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton will now be QB1. Just a recap: Bryce Young was the number one overall pick in last year's 2023 draft. In the last two games, Young has thrown three interceptions and no touchdowns, and averaged four or fewer yards per dropback this season. Panthers are 0-2 for the second straight season and fifth time in the past six. They've been outscored 72-13 in these first two games against the Saints and the Chargers. The Panthers gave up DJ Moore, the 2023 first round pick, a 2023, two 2023 first round picks, excuse me, a 2024 first round pick that ended up being Caleb Williams, and
Hmm.
also a 2025 second round pick that will more than likely end up being the 33rd overall pick, so the first pick in that round.
In the second,
Um,
that's the second round. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yep, they did all that to trade up to get Young at that number one spot, and Young is 2-16 as a starter with the worst of any QB in the last 10 starts in the last 10 seasons. That's the worst record to
Hmm.
have. In the last two seasons, he is last in completion percentage with 59% and yard per attempt. Over the last two games, he had just a QBR of, I believe it was 8.9 or something like that. Yeah,
You know, genuinely speaking, I can't, like, of course you could put the blame on Bryce Young, but you also can't just because of what he's been surrounded by in that Carolina Panthers organization. And just there is no like overwatching eye that's watching over everything. Like, I hate to bring up Jerry, but it's like at least Jerry has control over his franchise. Does that make
correct,
sense?
correct.
And for years now, I would say a decade plus, like it just feels like the Panthers have been just lost in the twilight zone of like genuinely. And so I can't really put that on Bryce Young because, there were so many expectations for him. And if you don't help him out and you don't give him a good old line, some receivers to actually, that can actually go up and get the ball for him because of like how small of a quarterback he is. Like, think about how Kyler has Marvin Harrison Jr. now. Like he could just throw the ball up to him, and
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Harrison is going to hawk it down. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Young doesn't have anybody like that. But I put more of that on the Panthers just for not surrounding him with, you know, all of the tools that he needs to succeed. And but I just, oh man, it's just I'm glad he's going to be able to sit down a little bit now behind Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is like, he is not a bad quarterback by any stretch of the means. Like, he's a solid, like, middle to low tier quarterback right now. But, when he was on, the
The
Bengals,
Bengals.
he was like, there was a time when the Bengals were doing all right behind Andy Dalton. So,
Mm-hmm.
so, I would like to see how this Panther team rallies behind Andy Dalton to see if like maybe is it Bryce Young or is it the team and is it the organization? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just wanted to put something out there. So while Bryce Young has been there literally just basically for just one season,
Yeah.
he's had three head coaches, three quarterback coaches, two offensive coordinators, traded away DJ Moore, Brian Burns. They've got they've on defense they've had the fewest sacks, the fewest takeaways, and on offense the fewest rushing touchdowns. So from my evaluation, from where I stand, I agree. Obviously, some of it could possibly be on Bryce Young, but most of it is on this organization. Think about it. Your number one receiver is Adam Thielen, who's around 35. That's
Hmm.
not that's at this point in time, that can't be your number one receiver. They have, your running back is Chuba Hubbard. Much respect to him. He's a good running back, but like I said, that's not a number one running back right there. So you don't have a number one running back, a number one receiver. You're basically out there by yourself behind the old line that's really not that great. On top of that, a defense that's really not that great either. So at the end of the day, there isn't much that Bryce Young could really do. I don't think that they put him in a position to succeed. Play calling wise, just development wise, that's another thing. That's probably the biggest thing is development wise. He regressed, and it sucks to say. and it sucks to witness because me and you both watching a lot of Alabama. When he was at Alabama, he was the man. You don't just go from this top
Yeah.
tier quarterback, this Heisman, like quarterback, all the way to the bottom. That's not how that works.
Mhm.
So I put a heavy, and I mean a heavy, heavy load on the Panthers organization for not being prepared for
Mhm.
something that they traded up to get.
hmm They kind of just thought like by trading up, they gave away all of their assets by trading up to go get him. Now you put him in a position to not succeed, like I said earlier. And it's just there's no culture that's being established in Carolina.
Hmm.
Like we see with Justin Fields when he was with Chicago and he had about three, four different head coaches, no culture, but he can go to the Steelers and he could rattle off two quick wins. And like because I feel like he's he's he has a culture and he has people standing behind him, and that's pretty much all due to just Mike
That's
Tomlin, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Um,
it's stability, and it's the culture that was built beforehand when he
hmm
came in.
exactly.
So that's what it is. It's just being able, and like you said, it's the people that are around him. It's the staff, it's the development, it's everybody that's around him, his teammates and everything like that that believe in him and that uplift him. So yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's
Do you even have
it,
the Panthers winning a game this season, though, genuinely?
not really. It sucks to
Yeah,
say, but no.
maybe against.
Uh,
No, let me not say it. Let me not say that. Let me not say that.
Against who?
I was gonna say maybe against the Giants, but who knows
Oh,
now?
In London, in London, both of y'all will be better off just having that as a tie.
Yeah. Yo, for real. That's for the number one and number two pick in the draft this
Yo,
year.
at that point, bro, I'm like, hey man, we at this point, I'll be like, yo, son, we not winning, bro. I would purposely fall him to the ground, drop the ball, everything. It'd be the worst display any football
Yeah,
player's ever
like
seen in their life.
where's this? Yo, Dan Orlovsky running out of bounds, yo.
One out the back of the end zone. Safety.
Yo, damn, man.
But
Damn, I
man,
feel
that
so
it just
bad.
that man, same here. I went what's it called when it happened, and I was like sitting there like registering it. I didn't really register until the next morning, and I was like, man, like I truly truly feel bad for him because he doesn't deserve this. He deserves so much better.
hmm
But
hmm
hopefully they get him up out of there and he lands in a better tighter spot where he could really show what he could really do.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Going back to just recapping some of the games from week two. These are just some of the mainly the lopsided games where we were like, what in the world just happened? So Dallas gets whooped 44-19 by New Orleans. Who in the world saw that coming? Green Bay survives Indianapolis without Jordan Love, which is
hmm
awesome to see. Um, Oh man, I don't even want to talk about this one. The Giants somehow, some way lose 21-18 without even with, and they scored touchdowns, and Washington did not. San Francisco, uh, Minnesota just has their number at this point. I don't know what to tell anybody on that one. Baltimore, what in the world is happening over there? The Vegas, really? The Raiders? Okay,
The
and you're at
Raiders,
home.
yo, they got Brock Bowers looking like the man,
He
bro.
looked. I said this when he first came in. I said he's a Gronk. He's a Rob Gronkowski type of player.
Oh my,
I said this when
yo,
he first came in. He's a Rob Gronkowski type of player. I've been
he,
and this is and I've been seeing it for years
yeah,
now.
yeah, no,
You
you did
know, so
that. You did say that.
so this isn't so this shouldn't be a surprise right there. Like it's just a surprise that they won. um, Arizona went crazy on the Rams.
Arizona after last week, Kyler saying, it's not my job to get him the ball. Somebody must have had to talk with him and said, it is your job to get him the ball, boy.
I was about to
Because
say you the quarterback.
because because there the throws he was just throwing already and just how he was and just the routes Marvin Harrison Jr. was running. Good Lord. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
nah, he look good. They both look good out there. I can't see what else they could put on display. The Cincinnati and Kansas City, per usual, that comes down to literally the last second to whoever had the ball and whatever team makes the biggest mistake.
It literally whoever makes the mistake
And for
with
some
a minute to go or less,
and for some unknown reason, it always ends up being Cincinnati that makes that
it's
mistake.
always the Bengals. I don't.
And you know what's funny? They used to do that all the time when it was the Steelers too. They'd be in the wild card or divisional round against the Steelers. They'd always figure out a way
Mm-hmm.
to get a targeting
Mm-hmm.
penalty, an unsportsmanlike that will
Yup.
push the Steelers
Yup.
into field goal range, and then they kick the field goal, they win the game. Like I, they got a black cat over their franchise too. Um, Houston and Chicago were in a tight one Sunday night for
Yeah.
that nightcap, and that was a good one. Caleb Williams had to somehow, some way figure out to let go of that ball.
Yeah, he holding on. Yeah, a lot of holding on to the ball too.
A lot of patting, too much patting
Mm-hmm.
for me. Um, Atlanta literally steals one out of Philly, robs them in front of their faces, and says, "Do something about it."
Kirk, Captain Kirk. Oh my God.
Saquon Barkley drops a pass, a much needed pass. It's crazy because he was literally on the whole game, and then of course that last play,
That last play, he got too ahead of himself. He looked
he
already.
looked up. Yep, he
He
looked up.
was, yep.
I think he was looking
Yep.
for that first down marker. I think that's what it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which he was right on it too. He was
Right on it.
right on it. That's a tough loss. And then for Kirk to come down and like do what he did to that Eagles offense, boy,
Hmm.
boy, boy. Oh my goodness. And then that last route that Drake London ran on Slay
Bro,
Jr., on Darius Slay Jr.
son,
Ooh,
son.
boy.
I'm gonna go
I just
inside.
got
Never mind.
I just got chills like rethinking it because that's not supposed to happen on Slay. That's not supposed to
No,
happen on him.
no, no.
That's not supposed to happen on
And then what's his face? Gardner Johnson. He said when he came back, he said, "I'm wear 8 to honor Kobe." He's been getting cooked ever since.
him.
Getting cooked by Jaden Reed last week. He got cooked by Darnell Mooney this week twice. Yeah, I think it was twice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Kobe
But
looking down at him like, bro, take that jersey.
a win like that for the Falcons, that gives them a lot of confidence, man. That
Hmm.
makes them believe in Kirk, number one, and that will make them believe that they can go out and beat anybody.
Yeah,
We kind of knew that Eagles defense, like we had
was
question marks
very
around
suspect. Yeah,
that Eagles defense, yeah. But man, that shouldn't have happened. That should not have
no,
happened.
no, no, not that. It's funny because I turned the game off actually when once after like 2 minutes
Hmm.
and I seen I'm like, you want to know what, they just gonna run this out, whatever.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, I turned back and I'm like 22 20, what did y'all do? What did y'all do?
I was
Why did
just
you
watching it. I was watching it just because it was just football on. Obviously, Monday night, you know what I mean? I'm watching and I get home from work, I turn it on and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this game is over. Next thing you know, Saquon drops that ball and I'm like, uh-oh. I didn't play too much football games to know. This is not good. This is not good. A minute 34 on the clock, a lot can happen. Too much can
and
happen.
yo, 3 plays and they were in the red zone.
They
Three
scored within a
plays.
minute. Like they literally scored
They
within a
literally
minute.
scored within a minute.
That's
Bro,
disgusting. That's disgusting.
yo, he zips one. Who was that, to Kyle Pitts? That first pass, he zips
Hmm.
one to Kyle Pitts. Then after that, he hits Darnell Mooney twice. And then they have the I know it was one pass that was in the end zone. That should have been a pass interference, but they
Yeah.
didn't call it.
Hmm.
And I forgot, I think there was another play too before that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a run or a pass, but regardless, then after that, that leads to Drake London
Yeah.
getting the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they take the lead, and then Jalen Hurts actually, actually, something happened on that route. I think it was to Devontae Smith that he was
It
trying to throw it
was
to, right?
it was to Devontae, yeah.
So when Devontae tried to turn that corner, the cornerback bumped him,
Mm,
made him go around him, so it mistimed the throw, and that was able to and that let Jesse Bates come in and get the interception.
yeah, it would look like the exact same route Kirk had ran, like Kirk and I forgot who the receiver was, but one of his receivers had ran like right to the outside, a corner route to the outside.
I
It
think that was
looked like
Mooney.
it was Mooney, right? Yeah. So the fact that like he tried to do it and the Eagles receiver, I mean the Eagles like DBs and cornerbacks couldn't undercut that.
Couldn't figure that.
But
Yeah,
however, they like Atlanta knew that number one they had to go out of bounds and they still had two timeouts. Cam, they
yeah,
still Eagles still had two timeouts.
yeah.
Atlanta didn't have no timeouts on their drive, and you kept
And
consistently
they
letting them go underneath and letting them go for big plays underneath, first of all, and get to the outside out of bounds when that game would have should have been over. It should have been over
yeah,
with
no,
timeouts left.
you think about this, 3rd and 3, down by your end zone, obviously.
Mhm.
3rd and 3. Why not just run the ball? Even if you just pick up 2 yards, guess what? That's a touch push. Then after that, you get the first down on that fourth down.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking. But
And then even if you don't
that's
get the fourth down, at least you pin them back in there, right? So, oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah. But it is what it is, Shouty. It is what it is. Moving on to week 3. We just watched the Jets dismantle the New England Patriots.
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers looked great. In the
Yeah,
words of my dad, he was surgical, very
very,
surgical.
very.
But I like what I'm seeing from that team right now. So if they keep up this momentum, that's gonna be something to watch.
Hmm.
Then just previewing everything. So Giants play Cleveland. You have Houston going up to Minnesota. Philly visits New Orleans.
That's gonna
Uh,
be that's a
that
good
that's
game. Just
that's
because
gonna
of
be
the
a
way the
great
Saints
game.
have been playing. If
Yeah,
Kirk just did that to their defense, think about what Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara are about to do.
and the fact that they can't stop the run, Alvin Kamara is gonna have himself another day.
Alvin Kamara, he been running that ball, boy,
He
running
looking
that
good.
ball.
He looking good, and Shaheed, that deep threat is crazy.
Yeah,
And then Chris
man.
Olave's route running is getting a lot more crisp too. So yeah, that team is scary. But the game of the game of the week, Baltimore versus Dallas.
Baltimore at Dallas.
Both desperate, desperate. Dallas coming off another ugly home loss, the second
Mhm.
one in a row. Then after that, you got Baltimore. Baltimore's 0-2 right now.
0-2. The fact that they're 0-2.
You take a close, heartbreaking loss to Kansas City. Okay, cool. You could live with that. But you fold and you lay an egg against the Raiders.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's these are two teams that have a lot of question marks around them. Dallas still can't stop the run. That's evident to see.
But that's going to be the biggest thing to
That's
see
going to be the biggest
if
thing. Can
Derrick Henry, if he can get if Jim Harbaugh could get it running, and if he can like actually get Derrick Henry involved, because if you get Derrick Henry running the ball effectively,
hmm
Lamar can start running the ball effectively, and the Cowboys can't stop the running at all. So he
Lamar
have
can
no
also
problem moving the ball.
Lamar can also pass a little bit more effectively
Exactly.
too if they have something like that because all the eyes will be in the backfield.
Yes. Yes.
But that's wow. It's funny to say that right now with both of those teams in just week 3, how like we're looking at them like, okay, both of you guys are like in some real deep trouble right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope you guys figure it out.
This is
Um,
the time when teams need to start gelling though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, San Francisco and the Rams face each other. So two injury riddled teams. We'll see who comes out on top over there.
Yeah.
Kansas City goes to Atlanta, so that's going to be a good one too. And then we got two Monday night games: Jacksonville versus Buffalo and Washington versus Cincinnati.
Okay. Okay. Not a
So
bad slate of games at all.
yeah, yeah, no, I'm not complaining.
Mm-mm,
Get
mm-mm.
no complaints out of me. So it's gonna be real interesting. Like I said, the game of the week is really that Baltimore and Dallas game right
Yeah.
there to see who's gonna come out on top and yeah, see who can really get the ball rolling from here on out. Because if Ravens go down 0-3, man, that's
That's not that's
yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
trouble.
hurt their confidence so much, and it's just gonna do so much to their psyche. I believe that's deep water. You that's hard to get out from.
I'm telling you, man, losing your defense coordinator and losing 15 players on top of that, that hurts. That
Yes.
really hurts.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Especially a
does.
team that was, especially a team that had literally rated the best defense almost like of all time to a certain point. So
Mhm.
But for these last couple of minutes, we'll move on over to college football.
Okay, okay, hit me.
All right. So Alabama came out on top against Wisconsin, which was a pretty good game. Sad thing for Wisconsin, though, Tyler Van Dyke tore his ACL on the first drive, trying to scramble out of the pocket and try to get a first down. Georgia survives a scare from Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
13 to 12. So that was something to watch. Texas beat UTSA, but the Quinn Ewers going down and Arch Manning coming in, and Arch had himself a day.
Arch was playing, boy. Arch was he was throwing that ball, running that ball. Oh my goodness.
What he was what am I? Excuse me. He was 9 for 12, 223 passes and four touchdowns, and he also had a 67-yard run too. Mm.
Talk about a dual threat though. Like and
Yes,
that the fact that he went to Texas, like and he stayed at
he
Texas
stayed.
for
Yeah.
Steve Sarkisian, like that boy gonna be ready. He
Oh
gonna be
yeah.
he gonna be ready.
Oh yeah.
Be
I'm
ready.
excited. I'm excited. He's gonna be starting up on this in this next game with
Next
Quinn
game.
Ewers still being out. So uh, I I like where this team is headed right now. I like this Texas team a lot.
This
I like this
Texas
Texas team
team,
a
they
lot.
nice, yo. They nice. They real
They the
good.
real deal. They the real deal. In a couple weeks, they got a couple tough stretches though, because in a couple weeks they will indeed see Oklahoma, and then right after they see Oklahoma, they see Georgia.
Yeah, those are gonna be the two most telling games of Texas's season right now,
Yeah,
most definitely.
yeah. So I'm very excited to see. Excuse me, what we have there. Um, whew, Florida State. Oh man, down the drain, buddy.
I
0 and
mean,
3.
I mean, I ain't even surprised anymore.
No,
And I ain't even. I'm just laughing. I'll just start laughing about
you
it.
just
Like that's it. That's it.
yeah, I wasn't even. I was like, all right, y'all suck. Like it ain't ain't no way to sugarcoat this one. Y'all just suck.
Y'all ain't there this year. Y'all don't got it. Y'all do not
Nope,
got it.
nope. That drop off from last year to this year is insane,
Yeah.
insane. But um, Colorado at Colorado State, you already know where I'm about to go with this one.
Talk to me. Tell
My
me.
boy Shador, man. So the whole nation been talking about how Shador didn't shake the opposing quarterback's hand.
Good.
Um, and that's what I said. I said, good. If you seen what was being said beforehand, you wouldn't shake his hand either.
No, no. It was I didn't like what I didn't like about it was how he was just questioning, Colorado's character and Colorado, like the Colorado players' character instead of questioning their game. Does that make sense?
Right.
And
Yeah,
I didn't,
yeah,
I didn't, I didn't like that at all. So I don't blame Shador not one bit. This is why we compete. This is why we play sports. Is to be like, yo, I just did that to you, and I heard you talking. So get up out my face with that.
exactly. And the funny thing is, dude was like, yeah, keep talking. Okay, well, I am gonna keep talking because I'm still rated one of the top guys in the nation. I just whooped your tail. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You tried to put the two short on Travis Hunter only for him to come back and get an interception on you. Like he's not the best two-way player in
And
the
the
game.
boy only ran 1 yard, and you saying he too small, bro? What? Somebody come get him and teach him how to
Yo,
be like a
they
organizational leader, please. Like, come on.
they were too busy worrying about the stuff off the field when on the field was right in front of you. So,
The thing that they blame Colorado for doing, they did. So
literally,
karma is a sucker.
sure
Karma
is.
sucker.
Sure is. Right before we get up out of here, give you a couple games to watch. So, Friday, you have 24 Illinois versus 22 Nebraska. Saturday, you'll have North Carolina State versus 21 Clemson. Um, you'll have USC versus Michigan, which is
That
really gonna
that's that
that should be
that's game. That's the game right there.
yeah, that should be a good one. You'll have Rutgers versus Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Very interested to see how Rutgers is going to look after this bye. Number 12 Utah goes to Oklahoma State. Number 14 Oklahoma State. And Tennessee, number 6, Tennessee goes off to number 15, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good little slate
Good slate.
coming
Good slate.
together.
Got some top 25 teams going up against each other. Some real
Yep.
implications early in the season. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you know it. But gotta get up on out of here, sadly. Time is short on us.
Damn.
But I know you guys enjoyed just as much as we did. And as usual, we thank you guys for always staying tuned in and keeping it locked in with us. But till then, I'm your host, Cam Silver.
I'm your co-host, Kyle Silver.
We are the Silver Boys.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cam Silver from the Silver Boys. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel and like our videos. Thank you for watching.